Hello everyone and welcome to Humble Beginnings Part 3. And if you watched Part 2, you probably noticed at the end of the video I was wearing hard leather armor. Well, you would be correct. I had it down in my notes to mention that we are one step closer to that blue dragonhide armor and completely forgot. Also, I'm wearing spider silk armor, so we are 2 steps closer to mystic armor. Yay! But that leads me into what I actually wanted to talk about in this intro, and that is combat. Now, I mentioned before that early levels in RuneScape go by fairly quick. That is very true, especially with combat. And I'm starting to find myself having to actually stop playing because I already hit my goal within like 30 minutes, maybe an hour of playing. And so I was thinking, what if I just power leveled to tier 50? So just get the rune armor, just get the mystic, and get the blue dragonhide armor, and then that would allow me to focus on the other skills. And then I'm not trying to, do combat and trying to skill and trying to make content for everyone, right? It's all getting kind of kabobbled. And so I wanted to address that video 4, you'll probably just see me in rune armor, the mystic, and the blue dragonhide armor because I don't want to keep dragging it out. I don't want video 4 to be, oh, cool, I'm in mithril now, right? And then video 5, oh, I'm in adamant. And then video 6, oh, finally, we made it to rune armor. Right? I just feel like that's just dragging out the early game, right? And we all know what the early game is about, so that's going to be my new goal for combat. Sorry if you were looking forward to me unlocking all the tiers of armor. I just don't want to drag the early game out too much. And with that being said, you're now all caught up with where I'm at armor-wise and what I want to do with combat. So let's get into the video. This is Humble Beginnings, a VanHalaKlad adventure, Part 3. Alright, they said just follow the agility path and I'll be able to see dinosaurs. I really hope this is not what they were talking about. These are dinosaurs? This is what this island is all about? No. There's more! This is what this island is all about. This is what people were saying? That there's dinosaurs on the island? This is it? This? Right here. This guy. This guy is no bigger than my... They were right. They were absolutely right. They are real. Look at them. Look at them. Look at this one. Look how close I can get. Look how majestic it is. Oh, it's just standing there. Even from afar. This is the most amazing thing I have ever seen. Look at it. Oh yeah. Look at this one. Oh, he's so cool. This has been the best journey of my life. All these dinosaurs are perfect. But now, sadly, I must leave them and go to my destination. They told me it was somewhere around here, I think. Aha, found it. This tree with a hole. What could it be? No one really told me what it was, but it must be important. You, hey you, strange plant creature, can you tell me what this is? Corruption! Corruption! Please, help! Corruption! Jumping hole! Corruption! What do you want me to do? Corruption! Jump! Hole in you! Well, you definitely could have phrased that one better, but when a strange plant tells you to jump in a hole, you jump in a hole. I am so sorry for these intro skits that I'm doing, but they're going to be there for now on. I know they're bad quality, but I enjoy making them. They bring a smile to my face. Hopefully they do to you guys as well. So I will be continuing doing them from now on. But what I hinted at the end of part 2 was Herbie Werby. And what Herbie Werby is a distraction diversion minigame. And this is found on Anachronia. And this is a herb lore / fire making minigame where you are helping the Zygomites fight the corruption flora. And so when you jump down in the hole, the first thing you need to know is that there is no time limit. It's a point-based minigame. And so once you hit 100 points, that's when the minigame ends. And so all you really need to know is that there's 2 types of floras down here. There is the purple flora, which is corrupted, and the green flora, which is good. And then there are Zygomites running around, and that's what you want to focus on. So you don't want to pick the corrupted flora and throw it into the sacred fire, because that will only get you fire making experience. What you want to do is stop the Zygomites from depositing their herb into the fire. It doesn't matter if it's corrupted or good, because if they're carrying the corrupted herb and you reset their action, it would send them back to go get another herb, which could potentially be a good one. And when you disrupt them carrying a good one, that's when you get your herb lore experience. And so if you want to min-max during this game, just focus on the Zygomites and you will be all set. So now let's talk about the rewards. The rewards are not that great. The best one is the herb bag for 200 points, and that holds 50 grimy herbs, in which you can upgrade for an additional 200 to hold 100 in total. And so really, this is just an early game herb lore training that'll give you something different to do once a week other than creating potions. And so now let's go on to the next part of herb lore that I want to talk about. Is I believe it was in part 1 when I mentioned that I wasn't going to use stores. I wanted to make this account get everything except for tedious items. And this is a perfect example of this. So herb lore, you need vial of waters in order to create your potions. Well, I'm not going to make hundreds of vial of waters just so I could do herb lore. But I found out that the general store in Karamja sells 300 vial of waters. So for now on, that is where I'm going to get my vial of waters. I'm not breaking any of my rules for the account. Right? There's going to be other items, like I mentioned, right? Potentially feathers. Right? Those will probably be something again that I will buy from stores. But it's only going to be tedious items. And I think this counts. So do not get on me about this. I'm not breaking any of my rules. And so the last bit of herb lore training that I wanted to do was just to get to level 20. And so being at level 14, the best potion that I can make is anti-poisons. And in order to make anti-poisons, you need Marintels and unicorn horn dust. So after I collected an inventory of unicorn horns, I grinded them down, cleaned my Marintels, and created my potions all the way to level 20. And now that I'm level 20 herb lore, my next goal is going to be level 38. And at level 38, I'm going to be able to make prayer potions. And these are going to be very good for questing and for early game bossing. Welcome back to the bonfire. And again, nobody showed up. Surprise. But I guess that gave me some time to reflect, and I was thinking of some things. First, I don't have any bling. Now, yes, I did mention that I would attempt the Dagonoths for the combat rings, but that's not really in the near future. And then I was thinking, well, what about the Amulet of Glory? Usually everyone's first necklace. And so I looked into it. You need level 80 crafting to make it. And that's nowhere near. So I had to think of something. So I looked into dungeoneering. And dungeoneering, you can get 3 necklaces. Well, actually 4, but I don't care about necromancy. And so the 3 necklaces that you can get are the Brawler's, Arcane, and the Farsight Quickshot necklace. And these 3 necklaces would be a huge addition. And that way, I'm not going into the fight caves without a necklace, because I might not be going in with any rings. That really depends on how the Dagnoths go. And so, I know I mentioned before that dungeoneering was going to be a Season 2 goal, but, like I said, depending on how things go... Hey! Nice cape. Depending on how things go, I might make dungeoneering a Season 1 goal. Because I really don't want to go into the fight caves with barely anything. So, with that being said, the fire is just now out. Let's get back into some skilling. And so, the skill that I'm working on now is runecrafting. And I first want to talk about the Wicked Hood. So you can pick up the Wicked Hood from Tam McGruber in Birthorpe. And unlike old school, where you needed either the tiara or the talisman on you, the Wicked Hood, you can feed all of the talismans to, get runecrafting experience for it, and then you have access to all of the altars that you have talismans for, so I definitely highly recommend you go pick one up. And so then, there are 2 methods to training runecrafting. One is RuneSpan, which is what I will be showing today, and the other is pretty much the original way to do it by going to the altars with rune essences to create your runes. Now, I will be doing both, because RuneSpan, I believe you get a higher XP rate, but I'm really going to need runes, so the only means for me to get them is to either get them from a drop from a monster or create them myself. And so what is RuneSpan? So RuneSpan is a pocket dimension that has creatures and like elemental nodes around it. And so you can kind of think of it as a mini game where you're going to go around and you're going to siphon the energy from said creatures or nodes, and you're going to get runes for them. And then based on how many runes or how long you stay in here, you'll get points for it. And so then you can spend those points to get the rest of the Wicked outfit, which is an agility outfit, or the runic staff, or you can spend points to get the master runecrafting outfit, which will give you bonus XP when you runecraft, or you can get various teleports, you can get the hungry hood. And so actually doing RuneSpan will be beneficial. And now I know I don't get to keep the runes. That's why I said that I will still go and craft the runes at the altars, because I'm going to need something to be able to use magic. And so the last bit of runecrafting that I want to show you is how runecrafting is like supposed to be done, or how it was originally done when it first came out. And so let's use air runes for example. So the closest bank for air runes is East Virach. Now I'm in West Virach, so I'm going to show you the path that you have to do. Now I believe this is like one of the shortest paths, and it still is really, what's the word I want to say? Exhausting, I guess. I can see why not a lot of people like this skill. So that is why I'm going to throw in RuneSpan, so that way I don't get bored of doing these rune runs. And so that little jaunt there is the closest. Just remember that. So yes, I'm gonna do both. So all I really have to say is wish me luck. Finally made it. West Ardoyne. City that some people call Plague City, but I like to call it the city plagued with lies. Yes, finally, the Elven quest line. I can start it now. Because we're doing quests in timeline order, I can't just do whatever quest I want. But Sheep Herder starts the Elven quest line, which is probably one of my favorite, if not at least top 3. But the Sheep Herder quest is fairly short. But what it's about is you go and talk with Counselor Hailgriff, and he tells you that the plague has mostly been contained. But 4 sheep have escaped the farm, and they are all colored. So he thinks that they have the plague. And so to stop spreading the plague, he wants you to go around and collect the sheep. And then you put them into the pen, and then you burn them. And that is all the quest is. But it gets you now thinking, why or what is the plague, and why is it happening in West Ardoin? So the next quest in the Elven series is called Plague City. And to start Plague City, you need to talk to Edmund. And when you talk to Edmund, you'll find out that he's worried about his daughter because she went into West Ardoin to study the plague and potentially find a cure for it, but has yet returned. And so he's trying to devise a plan to get into West Ardoin because the front gates are locked and they're not letting anyone in. And so he tells you that underneath his garden are the sewers, and the sewers lead right to West Ardoin. And so that is exactly what you do. You dig up his garden and you enter into the sewers, and then when you're in the sewers, you open the gates and then you climb up, and then eventually you are into West Ardoin. And so when you are in West Ardoin, you need to find or talk with some people to try to find his daughter. Try to get clues of her whereabouts. So eventually you talk with a child who will tell you that she was seen being dragged into a house that is protected by 2 mourners. And so when you go to that house, the mourners will not let you in. So you have to get permission. And so when you try to find the person who will give you permission, you find that he's has a pretty bad hangover. And so you'll make him the hangover cure. He'll feel better, and then he'll give you permission into that door. And so you essentially have to sneak past the mourners because the mourners still won't let you through. So, but once you get into the house, you go down to the basement and you find Elena and you rescue her. And so when you talk with Elena, she tells you that she was about to return to East Ardoin and back to her house with some samples, and that's when she was kidnapped and held captive. But after you free her, you go talk with Edmund and the quest is done. But it then raises the question, well, if she's trying to find a cure, why would someone stop her, kidnap her, and keep her from trying to help the people of Ardoin? Something seems fishy here. Well, I'm fishing again, so that means we made it to the end of the video. And I just want to give a shout out to all of you. Thank you so much for the support that you have been giving me. I've been really enjoying making these videos. I hope you guys are enjoying watching them. And I've been learning a lot of new things about RuneScape and about editing the videos. And so I just want to say, again, thank you so much for the support. And so with that being said, let's get into the end of the game wrap up. And so let's talk about quests. I did 13 quests. I did Sheep Herder, Plague City, Observatory Quest, Dwarf Cannon, Rune Mysteries, Murder Mysteries, Rune Memories, Gertrude's Cat, Priest in Peril, Death Plateau, Rag and Bone Man, Wolf Whistle, and Swept Away. So that now puts me at 56 quest points. And no, I'm not going to show you the dice roll because it wasn't anything special. And so when it comes to quests, I kind of mentioned this earlier in the video, but I'm probably only going to show the Elven, the Gnome, and the vampire quest lines, because those are my favorite. And I really, really like the stories of them, and I kind of want to share what they're about. And I just got to figure out how to do it in more of a storytelling way, but I'll think of something. So now let's look at my skills. So I already mentioned I'm going to power level combat to 50. But I also got crafting up to 50. So that is done. Mining is also level 52, so that is also done. So now I can start to pick a skill and just get it, like power level it up to level 50. And that's probably what I'm going to start doing, is instead of, going like, oh, I'm going to do herb lore to 30 and then agility to 35 or something, I'll probably just be like, I'm just going to do agility to 50, herb lore to 50, thieving to 50. And doing so will just get us out of the early game quicker and into the more fun content, in my opinion. But part 4 is going to be, there's no surprise. I'm going to do construction. The new update for construction came out, and I really, really, really want to see what it's all about. So part 4, I'm probably only going to do construction, and, well, probably a plethora of quests as well. And so now we're all caught up with skills, quests. So this is the time where I say thank you all and have a good night. And if you just woke up, have a good morning. But this has been Humble Beginnings, a VanHalaKlad adventure, part 3.
Like this absolutely eludes me. I have no idea what to do ever. Bro!
I legitimately just saw that.
I just fall into... How do I get out of here?
You just fell.
Climb rock ladder. Oh, I took damage on that.
The animation for that was priceless.
Swing on rope swing. Is that just a chance thing? Why is that happening?
I don't know. But the animation, your guy like doesn't even try to grab the rope.
He splats. I gotta line it up beforehand.
You shouldn't have to, no.
Swing on rope swing.
Oh my god.
Can I just climb out on the other side? Is that...
Apparently not.
How much damage do I gotta take before it lets me go?
Did you make it? Oh, you didn't even climb back up yet.
Why does your guy do it? Bro.
Well, I have...
This is horse.
I have level 30 agility.
You think you're better than me?
Yes, I do, because I pay.
This is a secretly paid quest.
This is a pay to win activity right here. Oh my goodness.
What the hell? How do I... Oh, there's 6 options here. Wait, swing on, examine. Let's examine it. Use this to swing over the next platform. Maybe I had to examine it first. Now it'll work.
Wow.
Wow. That's some horse right there.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, no, that was not the answer. It just happened to work.
Jumping, stepping. You think I'm falling for this again? You better make all these... Bro! This is
great.
There's some bad juju going on here. Let's examine these. I can totally jump over these, is what he says. We'll see. Okay, come on. There you go.
Nope.
No.
He jumps to the side. He doesn't even jump.
I know, it wasn't even lined up.
Like, he gets to the first one and he's like, I can jump straight, or there's a pit. I'm gonna jump that way.
Do I have to examine all of them?
You
I'm gonna
don't have to
all of
examine.
them.
It's because you're level 1 agility, and agility is a member's quest. But you got it. There you go. You did it.
Hell yeah. Light work.
I